This is Danny Flexon here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Brad Ray, unbeaten middleweight contender. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. How are you doing yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Obviously, Christmas Eve as we film this. It won't be going out today, but in the Christmas spirit, hopefully we're still just as happy when it does go out. You've been picked out as one of our ones to watch for 2022, mainly because you've had such a progressive year already in 2021. Let's start there. You've been on two quite big shows, different promoters, of course, starting off with that stoppage of Lee Cutler back in March. Just tell us your reflections on that fight and being on such a big stage after plying your trade on lower profile shows.
Yeah, it was kind of the chance that I'd been waiting for quite a while. When the Cutler fight got offered to us, I've been boxing on the small hall circuit on Steve Wood shows, and I knew that something like that was going to come up, and obviously it was kind of the height of COVID. A lot of people in my position obviously weren't fighting, weren't getting the chances on the small hall shows. But I stayed in the gym, and I just had this feeling that there was something was going to come up, and when it did come up, that I was going to be ready. So and there was a few chances kind of before that to get out where it won't come off, and it was a little bit disheartening. But I was just flat out in the gym, and when that chance finally came, we got offered as a reserve for the matchroom shows that they had on, and I think there was a show before that I could have potentially been on. Didn't end up on that, and then we ended up on the Okoli undercard, and I just knew that this was my time now, on a big platform to kind of show people what I could do.
And you did that. You wiped them out in a round. Very impressive performance. It seemed like you maybe were going to carry on with Matchroom, but then you signed with Boxer. And we'll talk about your first fight with them in a minute. But what made you start working alongside Boxer? I know you're managed by Steve Wood, of course.
Yeah, it was just no. I think things kind of went quiet for a little bit. I think if straight away after that fight, Eddie would have offered us a contract, it would have been, I would have just signed it and happy days. I would have been obviously probably boxing on the zone now. But things went quiet for a little bit, and I didn't get out for quite a while again. And we were then approached by Boxer, and I was excited by what they were saying. Obviously, still quite fresh, but you've got the backing of Sky Sports, which it's a massive platform, and it's very hard to fail when you've got that kind of huge platform to show. Obviously, to get the boxers out on. So, I was just excited about getting on that such a huge platform, and hopefully getting on some more big shows.
And they started you off with a cracking scrap with JEZ Smith, of course. A lot of people kind of low-key possibility as fight of the year. How do you reflect on that now? I know you dropped him early, but then it became a real kind of back and forth tussle.
Yeah, it's I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's especially, like I said, with it being on Sky and the way people talk about it, and watching the fight highlights back. These are the type of fights that I watched growing up, and it's just that's me now. I'm there, and personally, I don't think it was a very good performance from myself. But I've shown people what I'm about, and I show people what I can do, and when it gets tough in there, I can show that I can handle myself.
And it shows as well that you're perhaps ready to now step into title class. I know you're out, projected to be out early next year in another 8-rounder, but would that, in your mind, would that be the last 8-rounder perhaps?
Yeah, I think that's going to be my last 8-rounder, and then push on to the 10s, and hopefully 2022, we're looking at titles. I want whoever's got that English title at some point, look at that English title, and then hopefully crack on from there. But the middleweight division is bouncing domestically at the moment. There's so many good fights to be made. So hopefully again I'll be in some more entertaining fights this year.
Yeah, I think it might be River Wilson Bent has got the English at the moment. I have to double check, but British is vacant, isn't it now?
Yeah. I think the English is vacant, so
Okay.
Ben and Tyler Denny drew for the
That's
vacant
it. Yeah, it
title.
was a
So
draw. Yeah.
I think the plan is they're going to have a rematch. But yeah, you know, Cash has kind of moved on now from the British ante, and I think that just completely opens the division up as well. A lot of the lads who were around the English level will push on to British level, and the likes of me, who are kind of just below English level, are going to push on to them title fights now. And you know, it's just like I said, it's a very exciting division. There's so many good fights to be made, and hopefully over the next few years, you know, I can get involved in some of them.
And you're trained by Blaine Eunice at the Ricky Hatton gym. Just tell us about that relationship and why he was the one to guide you as a pro.
Yeah, so I've worked with Blaine for quite a while now. My last couple of years as an amateur, I was training with Blaine, and you know, we just clicked. You know, he's a good coach, and obviously he does the assistant stuff with Ricky. But you know, he's my head coach, and you know, we've just got a good understanding of each other. And I've worked with a lot of good coaches over the years, but I just feel the way that me and Blaine work together, you know, I think he's the man to kind of take me to the top.
Yeah, he's kind of underrated, isn't he? I think, but does a lot of hard work behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely, and I think over the next few years, you know, he'll kind of start getting the credit that he deserves, because you know he puts the graft in, definitely.
And tell us some of the fighters, particularly in the UK, that you've sparred so far, because I'm guessing at this stage of your career, you're learning as much, if not more, in sparring as you are in the ring on fight night.
Yeah, around, obviously I'm from Manchester, to loads of top sparring for my debut, you know, which a couple of years ago now, we was doing like quite a lot with Liam Smith and Mark Heffron. Used to do a lot with Jack Cullen, been in with Liam Williams, and you know, it's just like you said, a lot of the learning that you do early on is through sparring. So I've kind of got that mentality, you know, we're happy to spar anyone, anytime. And I think because of that, we had that mentality. I've definitely progressed a lot faster than a lot of the other lads who were kind of my age and in my position.
If there's people out there that had never seen you box, how would you describe your style?
Probably saying quite deceiving. You know, I'm a 6'3" middleweight, quite rangy, which, you know, I can use my attributes if I have to, but you know, I like to get involved, and I like to have fun.
I can imagine those spars with you and Jack Cullen, because you're both tall, rangy middleweights who can't help but get involved.
Yeah, it's like we're about 5 foot though.
Yeah.
Sparring a phone box.
Phone box, yeah, brilliant. Where would you like to be by the end of 2022 in an ideal world?
I want some kind of title by the end of next year, definitely, preferably that English, and just getting myself up the rankings and in a position where we can, you know, start pushing on and looking at that British title. Maybe, you know, I am still only young, but I want to get myself in a position where that's kind of in touching distance. That's one of my main goals when I turned professional, was to win that British title outright. You know, growing up, it's just been it's the belt in it. That's the one that everyone wants, and it's the one that I want. And you know, I'm not saying I'm a year away from having it, but you know, I want to get myself in a position where I'm pushing, and hopefully by the end of the year, I'm somewhere where we can be looking at whoever's got that British title.
Who do you kind of look up to, or who did you look up to when you were first getting into the sport? Who were the kind of boxing people you looked to, influences?
Oh, I was Ricky mad when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was. You know, used to go to all of his fights, and my first ever pair of boxing shorts from Susie Wong were sky blue and Hatton replicas. You know, we're thinking back now, it's quite surreal, but yeah, you know, he's just Rick now. But I was a very big Crawler fan as well. Used to follow Crawler all over as well, going to the arena. And you know, that's another thing for me, is boxing at that Manchester arena. You know, I used to go watch Ricky there, and Quigg and Crawler, and how they kind of made it, you know, this fortress in Manchester. And you know, hopefully there's a lot of good talent coming up from Manchester. So hopefully we can kind of build that again. You know, we need another wave every couple of years. You know, there's a wave of fighters, and hopefully I can be one of them fighters.
Fingers crossed. Right, before I let you go, just tell people out there how they can find you on the different social media platforms.
Yeah, so I'm the same on all of them. It's just Brad Ray _. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Yeah, I'm quite active. I'm sure you'll see me knocking about.
Yeah, I can attest to that. No, he's a good follow, definitely on Twitter, especially. So yeah, get following. Really appreciate your time, mate. Have a great Christmas and New Year, and yeah, look forward to seeing you back out in the early part of 2022.
Top man, Danny. Cheers, mate. Have a good Christmas, pal.